Yeah, you know what it is. It's your boy Dooney Noon coming to you again. How you guys doing today? We had another beautiful summer-like day, so you know who we got to give our praise and thanks to. Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for every day, Lord. Thank you for all the many blessings that you bestow upon us each and every day. Take this time out tonight to utter some words, and please guide my words very carefully, Lord. And please take care of those who have prayers going up to you for special needs, Lord. In your son's powerful name we pray, amen. All right. Hello again. This is your boy. So the topic again is giving kudos and homage to the brothers and sisters that paved the way for us. Today, before I go into that, today I witnessed something, and it's been occurring like for the last month or so, and you know, it's just on my spirit to share this with you guys and see if you guys subconsciously or consciously is aware of what I'm about to say. In my town of Patterson, and when I do go out of Patterson as well, every authentic group of people, all the masses, regardless of skin color, race, nationality, what have you, I see that there's a positive thing going on. Now, I don't know what brought about this change, but I'm happy it's a change. So that means God is on the scene. He's always been on the scene, but he's putting some good spirits and vibes and home training and common courtesy in the masses. Specifically, what I'm saying is, today as well as yesterday, the day before, when I go to the supermarket, I go to the corner stores, I go to the mall, I go to the bank, and etc. Every place I go is in my upbringing and home training to hold the door when someone's close behind me, about 4 feet to 2 feet. Don't just let the door slam on them. Just keep it open. I've noticed folks are doing that for everybody. Everybody's doing it. And it's a good thing. So thank you, God Almighty, for showing us humans how to behave and show common courtesy for the next person. So just, that's just a thought I want to share with you. Keep that in your conscious mind, and you'll see what I'm saying is true. People are now showing common courtesy in that sense. Now, I'm not saying there's a complete turnaround with driving erratically and doing other things, but this thing is a positive thing. So thank you, all those who can identify and who recognize and who do exactly what I'm expressing now. Okay, moving right along. Now, today I was up at the park, Eastside Park in Patterson, one of our landmarks. If you go up there and just, you ain't got to get out your car, just drive through, you'll see how beautiful God's art and his planet is. This is the season where the leaves are just so beautiful. If nothing happens in your being when you see that, there's something wrong with you. There's really something wrong, I'm telling you. It's just so magnificent and marvelous how he designed the planet when you look at it in a spiritual eye and a physical eye. So I mention that because I remember when we were little. Now I'm going into my story now, because like I said, we got to tell our stories. Okay. When I was younger, my peers and myself, we grew up in neighborhoods where everybody's house or the neighbor's house, if you didn't have one in your backyard, there was a fruit tree. I don't see too many more fruit trees now. We had apple tree, pear tree, cherry tree, grapevine. We had all these fruit trees, and we was mischievous. We wasn't bad, and we wasn't criminals. But what we did do is we go and we take those fruits, and we ate the fruit. I mean, there was fruit trees, and the neighbors wasn't too bad unless you go into somebody's grapevine and they had it, fenced in and locked down, and you had to climb the fence and go through the barbed wire and get over there and get the grapes. Then that was a little different. But for the most part, no one mind you taking the apples, the pears, the cherries. And now I can't honestly say I see too many fruit trees. I mean, maybe it's me. Maybe there's something that I'm not seeing, but as kids, we treasured waking up going to get some cherries and grapes and pears and apples, especially apples. I mean, everybody had an apple tree. So, I just wanted to share that too with you. Also, one just little alert, me and a couple of associates of mine was talking today while we were working out. We haven't seen, or now that I'm thinking of it, I haven't really seen any pigeons. I've seen the ducks, the geese, the squirrels, the little birds, the big black hawks. Crows. They're everywhere now. But I've seen hawks. We had a few hawks up at the park that I mentioned earlier, Eastside Park. And the hawks, the hawks swoop down on them squirrels. So when that hawk is out, nature is a beautiful thing. When that hawk is out, them squirrels, you don't see no movement down there on the ground. But as far as pigeons, I haven't seen that many pigeons. I mean, I used to go downtown Patterson and I see tons of pigeons. I don't know, maybe they still downtown. I can't really be truthful and accurate about downtown Patterson, but up at the parks, not even Eastside parks, other parks, Brookdale Park, parks in Maywood, all these parks, Clifton Parks, I don't see no pigeons. Maybe it's just me, okay? All right, now, those was just bulletins I wanted to kick out to you guys. But keep that in mind. Be aware of what's going on. Now, back to black businesses. I told you that if I don't mention your business or your name, that don't mean that, you wasn't there, or I was being rude and not wanting to mention you for some selfish reasons or something. It's just that there's so many businesses we had that it's really difficult to keep up with them. Black businesses in our neighborhood. Now, one business that I didn't mention comes to mind, and it was like a New York store. Back then, we had the alcoholic beverages, the beer, the wine, the liquor, and the grocery store all combined into one. I mean, now they're trying to do it. New York had it for a while, but most stores don't sell liquor or sell beer unless, like it's all a liquor store and then you have some of them. There's very few of them. Let me just put it that way. There are some, but there's very few. But back in the day, everybody did it, okay? So, my father, John Benjamin Sr., when he wasn't really high, this guy drunk a lot. I ain't ashamed to say it, bless your soul, Dad. But he drunk a lot. So, but he used to go to this store on the corner of Godwin Ave, right around the corner from School 6. Godwin Ave, it was on Carroll and Godwin on the corner. Hamilton Ave was the parallel street. The name of the store was Clyde's Liquor Store. Now, my father and Clyde had a bond. I don't know if it came from the South or wherever it came from, but they was pretty close. So he didn't need money. They had a little thing going on where it was credit, but it wasn't the credit that we have today where you build your credit, you need your credit card, and back then with Clyde and my dad, it was more of a thing where they was Word was bond. Okay, if I tell you that give me X, Y, and Z product, and I'll pay you on such and such day, my word, my mouth, my words came coming out of my mouth was my bond, my life. That was the credit. So he would, they wouldn't write tabs down and all that and keep a record of what you got and what you did got, but he would know, and Clyde would know the items. Okay, so the day that came when he's supposed to pay him, he paid him. He paid him. He taught me that lesson too. He paid him. So his word was his life, was his bond. So without your word back then, you had no credibility at all. And again, now you need the credit card. You need this, you need that, you need that. Because people don't see the importance of keeping your word. If you can't do it, don't say it. So when they say word is bond, we had incorporated that too from the folks before us. So if I can't do something, I'm going to tell you, I don't know, or I can't do it, and it's up to you whether to give the item or the favor or whatever it happens to be. Okay. So, Clyde's Liquor Store. I give a shout out to Clyde. Rest in peace, unless he's still around. I think Clyde had a daughter. His wife's name was Margaret. Very beautiful lady, very kind with that smile, always decent to us. Because we used to run in there all wild after playing basketball and run around the corner and start getting, we ain't know nothing about no healthy drinks. We used to get soda, if we got water, we was corny, but, that was kids. So thank you, Clyde and Dad. Now, another store, it's another store, another black owner, another store. Now, if you look at all my prior videos and stuff, you will see all the black business that I talked about already. And I don't even know the count now, but I have to mention this store. And this lady grew up in the same town as my father also. And her name was Ethel, but the name of the restaurant was E&A, and it was on the lower end of Governor Street. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's Straight Street. She cooked the best. This store was a diner, actually a soul food restaurant. And the food was just fabulous, just delicious, just yummy. I mean, it's hard to beat Southern women cooking. I don't know what it is, but I love it. So she had some of the best food around. So at one point she had standing room only and a line down the street. There was a overpass, a trestle going from that Summer Street to Straight Street, but the line was almost halfway down. That's how good her food was. So shout out to Miss Ethel. So let's see, was there something else I wanted to talk about? Oh, okay. You have to excuse me. Let me just, y'all don't mind, do you? Come on, man. I got my black seed oil and my tea and stuff. I just want to take a little swig. I gotta take another. Sorry about that. Oh, and I got me some vanilla wafers. This is my cheat day, so I can have these today. Anyway, another brother that I didn't mention, and I've been to his house. God rest his wife's soul in peace. She cooked the best biscuits, man. Me and her son used to tell her, one of her sons, you need to go kick Hazel in the butt, or whatever that lady named that's packaging her stuff, Sylvia's, and package your biscuits, because there's nothing like it that we ever tasted. It's better than the garlic bread at Red Lobster. It's better than the pumpernickel bread at what's the chicken spot. It's better than any breads that we tasted. So Stanley McDowell. That was Miss McDowell. That was Stanley's wife. Stanley was a school 6 person. I used to see Stanley Jerry Hall, Zeb Johnson, Melvin Wise, these guys on the wall ball court playing handball. Y'all call it handball. We call it wall ball. Listen, these cats was vicious. I thought they would knock a hole in their hand, man, in the palm of their hand. So, they was hitting that ball so hard, bro. I was like, nah, I don't think that's for me. And then you got to get out the way when it come back. And these cats was, but they was professionals at it. Besides the, I mentioned y'all about Zeb before, about Zeb being that dude. And that was Stanley's, they were pretty close. I think they was partners. That might have been his partner back then. But Stanley, the reason I'm mentioning him is because he had probably a baseball team too, but I know he had a basketball team, City Hall Annex. We used to play at down, if you've ever been to Patterson, you go to City Hall on the Ellison Street side. You'll see the Board of Rec building, but you, in back of that building, on the ground floor, was a gymnasium down there, and that's called the Annex building, City Hall Annex. And I think Stanley started his team there. I'm not sure. Stanley's still around. He can, you know, if you want to get in touch with him, just Google him. He was very influential in starting leagues in Patterson for less fortunate people, and he had some teams. He had some great players on his team. So, I mean, one cat I played against, he's still around, my boy who cracked on me because I wasn't retired yet. He retired from working before I did. His name is Fontaine Dantzler. Fontaine played with a toothpick in the corner of his mouth. Yo, hey, you go up to Grand Street Projects, if you know anything about Patterson, you better bring your A game, that's number one, and you better have a forearm pad, or you get ready for a physical game. Let me just put it that way. And if you ain't got the heart for it, don't go up there. You know, yeah, Font, Philip Jackson, the Briggs boys. You had all kind of cats, Holloway in there, man. You had some serious brothers with some serious talent up there, but none of that soft stuff. So, but Stan, that was one of Stan's players. Stan produced a lot of great players, man. Then Stan moved out of Patterson. I think he's down South Jersey now. But shout out to you, Stanley McDowell. You know, and he was another brother who always was sharp. He was clean too, because him and Zeb was partners, so they always wore the threads. But anyway, I wanted to mention those folks because I didn't mention them previously. And these was brothers that was influential in our community in the School 6 area of Patterson. So the bottom line for me today, or the takeaways that I want to share with you guys, is that, again, reflecting on what I've been witnessing with the common courtesy, because you know it's easy to talk negative about things because some of them are reality and people do negative things, but when people do positive things, we tend to not, it's not gossip, I guess, you know, so you know, no one wants to hear it. But I'm telling you, and I ain't telling you nothing because half of you are probably grown, but I'm saying this, that please give those kudos if you see something out of the ordinary or something that someone's doing, you know, above and beyond the call of duty. Let them know about it, why they're living, why they're here. You know, don't wait till they die and bring them flowers that they can't smell, or, you know what I'm saying? Do the right thing. So that's the takeaway. Be aware and do the right thing. And what else? The what else is, please tell your story. I don't care what it is. Tell your story. Someone needs to hear your story. Your story, not Nooney's story. Not no one else's story, your story. And it doesn't have to be, again, on social media. You could pull someone aside anywhere you meet them. And people, most people are receptive to listening. You know, so your boy, Noonie Noon, once again, love you guys. And check this out. You know I got them on. My new sneakers. Guys, have a nice night. And what do I always tell you? Hug somebody and stop playing around. Peace.